Hi, my name's Johnny, and today we are going to be comparing 3 different precision basses at 3 different price points. First of all, if you haven't already done so, make sure you press like and subscribe, please. It helps me keep these lights on and keep things going. Fender might be a little boring sometimes, but they do have something for everyone in terms of price. We're going to be looking at a low-range Squier, middle to high-range Squier, and then a low-range Fender as well. Now, Fender have, at time of recording, just released the Fender Standard series, which sits between a Classic Vibe Squier and a Fender Player, which has ruined the concept of this video. Thanks, Fender. However, the 3 basses we're going to be looking at today are similar distances away in terms of price. First up, we have one of the most affordable Squiers that you can get on the market today, this being the Squier Sonic precision bass. These retail for £170. 170 quid for a Squier P bass. That's not bad at all. Now, unfortunately, they don't all look as good as this. I've changed the pickguard and the pickup covers. Everything about it is stock apart from that, though. It's just aesthetically, I changed mine to be a little bit different. Now, I say this is mine, but it's actually not anymore. Over on the Patreon for my podcast for bass players, this P-Bass was the latest giveaway in our monthly gear giveaways that you can be a part of if you sign up to our Patreon. So make sure you click the link in the description to check out the podcast and learn how to get involved with giveaways like that in the future. This bass is simple. It's a poplar body, maple neck, slightly slimmer neck than the traditional P-Bass, but this feels really nice and actually out of the box plays fantastically well for the money. Where this bass does fall short though is in with the electronics. I think everything just feels a bit rattly, but those things are easy to replace. At its core, you've got a super solid bass here for £170. Next up is the Squier Classic Vibe 70s precision bass in this limited edition Antigua finish. Because it is a limited edition, these do go for about £400, which I believe is like £30 or £50 more expensive than the normal finish that is either all black or that kind of mocha brown finish with the black pickguard. Similarly to the Sonic, we also have a poplar body and a maple neck, this time with a gloss finish, block inlays, binding, you're getting all these extra little bits. Hardware-wise, things do feel a lot nicer, and the machine heads are really good on this thing. And last but not least, well, actually the most, I suppose, the most expensive one is the Player II precision bass. Unlike the others that are made in Indonesia, this one comes out of Mexico, and it is or was the most affordable Fender P-Bass on the market. These retail for about £750, and they featured some really nice upgrades from the original Player series, mainly in the neck with the rosewood fretboard, not Palfero, rolled fretboard edges, and a satin feeling on the back of the neck. It's a traditional P-Bass neck, but it feels more comfortable to play thanks to those rolled edges and the satin on the back. I will say though that the rolled fretboard edges, I feel like Fender could have done better here, especially when comparing it to cheaper alternatives like Sire. The Sire rolled fretboard edges are on another level compared to this, and even the American basses that have got rolled fretboard edges. They don't feel that rolled to me. Changing it up this time, we have an older body, but still with that maple neck. Now shut up, Jonathan. Let's have a listen to how these things sound. Obviously, this isn't the most scientific comparison in the world. We've got different fretboard woods, but we are using the same strings on every single bass. These are the Dunlop hybrid nickels that I've used, the same set across every single bass that you're going to hear now. So let's have a listen to what these sound like. There we go. Let me know in a comment down below which is your favorite and which do you think is the best value for money. It's really tough with these because each one kind of has its own charm. I was really impressed with the Squier Sonic playability wise out the gate. I think that is a brilliant bass for the money. However, there are some more obvious signs that it's more affordable, but on the whole, it's a great purchase. Now, this bass was actually by far the hottest out of the two. Really high output. I don't think that contributes to the quality necessarily. It's just kind of louder. And I actually start to get a little bit of crackle out of it as well when putting the input jack in. So I can kind of tell that bass would need its electronics changing down the line. However, if you're looking for a cheap P bass, that is a great option. Moving on to the Player II, the neck is definitely a standout feature of this one, and in terms of sound, it's got the most well-rounded tone. It kind of feels more harmonically rich, if that makes sense. One thing that is worth mentioning is that the tuner of the A string is not great. This one feels like a bit crunchy when you're turning it. Definitely holds its tuning better than the Sonic, but yeah, that's not £700. Really great solid bass overall. It's just too expensive. It's £700. That's quite a lot. And now, what I think is actually my favorite out of the three is the Squier Classic Vibe. I just think that value for money wise, it really hits it on point. You definitely feel like you're getting an upgrade in terms of hardware overall and electronics compared to something like the entry-level Sonic bass. Out of the three basses, these are the best machine heads. These feel super solid and keep the tuning absolutely fine. This pickup as well, you can definitely tell it's 70s voice, okay? It definitely sounds more raw compared to the other. It's definitely the most boisterous. It's like this is the teenager, and then the Player II is when it's grown up a little bit and settled down. Overall, in terms of value for money, sound, feel, I have to give the win, in my opinion, to the Antigua Classic Vibe 70s precision bass. A problem I have with this Squier though is that it's got the maple neck, and that's not really like the traditional look for these Antiguas. They normally have rosewoods, so magic. So we have now got the rolled fretboard edges satin neck on the Antigua P bass. I don't know why they didn't do this originally. It's the kind of classic look that the Antiguas have, but there we go. Let's have a listen to what this change now sounds like. It's actually crazy how much difference swapping those necks made. Way less boisterous. To me, it sounded like there was a bit more mids and less top end, which is kind of traditionally what maple necks give, I suppose. So yeah, all of you that think tone woods is nonsense, I could definitely hear a difference between those two. I'll try and do a back-to-back comparison at some point of those, but yeah, really interesting indeed. Once again, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.